tacos first. Then we're going to 40 acres. We've got some really big bonfires that we're gonna be setting on fire and should make for some really good content. Tacos first though. Taco Fanny, here we come.
Make me work, make me sweat inside, make me feel like I'm alive. Take this hurt, lady, throw it in my face. Don't let these bones slow you down. 'Cause I'm coming on strong. The grass should've looked greener. I'm being a true believer in disguise. If I'm loving you.
We're out here at the 40 acres. We've got the south side entrance of the property. This is coming in off of East Texas Street. It's about 500 foot long. We're gonna put in a gravel road all the way. You can see the trench right here. We actually buried a 2-inch water line. It's about 500 foot long and it stops right here. And we're actually gonna keep coming around here and run it all the way up to the top of the property up there, to where the tiny home community is going to be. And so the goal is to run 2-inch all the way up there, and then once we get up there, we're going to kick off and do a 1-inch to each unit once we're up there. So I think it's going to end up being about 1,000 foot up, and then we're going to kick over 500 foot. So we're running about 1,500 foot, a 2-inch water line. So that's what we're going to be doing later this week. Up to this point, as you saw earlier, the entrance here on East Texas, we got this all cleared out. We try to trim up all the trees so it creates a real cool entrance as you come in. So as I said before, this is the south side of the property. This is where you're gonna actually enter the property if you're coming to our tiny home community. Again, our property, our house is gonna be on the north side of the property, and you enter it from a different street. And we designed that to kind of keep the tiny home community separate from our main house is the goal. And so as long as they're not just walking around, there really should be a really cool separation between the two places. So let's go on and walk up the hill. We're trying to keep all the, what we call hardwood trees. So like all the oaks, pecan trees, hickory, we've got some black walnut. We're trying to keep all that stuff. And so we're creating the road here. As you can see, it kind of meanders and curves around up to the hill. But we call this just a lot of junk wood. I mean, this is a mimosa tree. Mimosa trees are pretty, but I mean, for what we're trying to do, it's really not necessary. So a lot of this stuff's gonna be coming out. We're gonna continue to bring the water line all the way up. So as you enter Texas Street, come in 500 foot, we're gonna have a gate that they can open either with the remote or with the combo. Right here, as you enter the property off of East Texas Street, we have this proposed road, I guess is what you'd call it. We're just gonna put gravel on it, make it a really nice entrance. And we're gonna put in a gate to where people can put in the combo, get in the property. And as they enter the gate, they're gonna enter the south side of our property and start heading up this road right here. As you can see, it comes up the road and it kind of meanders and curves around. It's a really cool road. There's cool trees everywhere. There's a tree up here I wanna show you guys. But again, we may leave this mimosa. Heck, I like it, but this boat arc right here, we may take it out so it'll allow for this big red oak to do really well and kind of continue to come over the roadway. And so we're picking and choosing which trees we want to keep. Of course, most cedars are coming out unless it's just like a really big standalone cedar. All the small stuff will come out. So we want these trees to do well, not be fighting each other and just creating a mess to where you can't see the property or drive through the property. So we'll come up here, check out what the guys got going on. But yeah, so the work, like I said, we kind of designed the road to where it's going around the trees. If you look up there, you can see all these real pretty big red oak trees, and it's gonna go up there and then up to the top of the hill where the tiny home community will be. So as you see us cutting down these trees, a lot of people say, why are they cutting down all these beautiful trees? Well, we're trying to leave as many trees as we can. We're taking out the ugly trees, and the trees that are affecting the beautiful hardwood trees is the goal we're kind of shooting for. So let's continue up the hill. So even guys like this, these little red oaks we try to keep. I mean, that's gonna be a beautiful tree. I mean, it's probably 2 or 3 years old, but now that everything's cleaned up around it, it's gonna really have a chance to take off and do really well. We love rainy days like today because we can come in and light fires. Of course, the guys like it too because it keeps them warm. Bad Brad and Josh, hard at it. Get that sucker lit. So mainly what they're doing right now is clearing out all these trees because we have to, two things. We have to run the gravel road up the hill, and then we got to put in our 2-inch line. So that's what they're doing right now, is clearing this path. They've also cleared out a lot of trees in here to where it's much more open, and they're gonna continue to clear out the trees to, again, expose the nice, pretty trees. I'm definitely gonna get out of breath climbing up the hill here, so bear with me. Normally not worried about catching my breath from the perspective of trying to come back and talk normal. Okay, we had to stop talking for a little while because I was running out of breath and couldn't talk and talk. I couldn't walk and talk at the same time, as you can tell right now. Here at the top of the hill, it's gonna be the tiny home community over there, which we'll walk over there here in a second, but this is kind of the end of the gravel road. Instead of people coming up here and parking next to their cabin, the ideal we have is to have them park almost in a parking lot. We're gonna try to do 6 cars on this side of the road, and then we're gonna do 6 cars on this side. And then we may have like a golf cart or side by side here to help them bring their luggage to the tiny home. But once you're up here, I kind of want to keep everything separate from the houses and the experience we're trying to create. I don't want, whatever, 10, 15 cars parked up here all next to the house. So as you come up here, all you're really gonna see are the 6 tiny home units up here. And then as you get up to the top of the hill, you'll kind of see the view. That's what we're walking over to right now. We have 2 different elevations up here. This is the first elevation. We're going to do a tiny home right over there, and then we're going to do a tiny home right here, and then we're going to do a tiny home right over there, and then it kind of drops down a little bit, maybe 10 foot, and it's another little tabletop. We're going to do 3 more tiny homes over there too, so come on over. This is a pile we've had going for about a week now. When it's not raining, we let it die down, and then it's got enough coals in it, we just throw some stuff back on and it gets going again. And he's probably got coals for close to a week. So we try to use rainy days like today to have these big bonfires, so we're not at risk of catching anything else on fire. So step on over here and we'll check out the views. Oh yeah, they cut it. I guess it was tied up in the tree and hadn't fallen yet. That limb literally just fell down in front of us. That was nuts. That's crazy. Let's talk about this tree. So this has got to be probably one of the coolest trees on this whole property. There's no telling how many years old it is, but check this out. The limb comes straight over and then it kicks straight up. And this is normally a tree I wouldn't cut down right here. That's a beautiful oak tree. But again, I don't want it to fight against this like coolest tree ever. So I've always thought this is a really neat tree, and it's probably the coolest one on the property, honestly. We'll cut this dead one down right here and clean everything up around it and just let it take off, let it get a lot of sun and a lot of water, and it should make for an amazing, amazing tree long term. What I've heard on this, actually, I don't know if this is true, don't quote me on this. I've heard that Indians in the past would actually break the limb or tie it back and make it unnaturally do this, and this is how they would mark a trail. Again, I've been told that. I don't know if that's the truth, but it's just kind of wild how unnaturally it kicks straight out and then up. It's kind of cloudy and misty today, but you can see through there. You can tell where we've kept all the big oak trees, all the big red oaks, even some of the smaller ones. We've taken out all the cedar trees and we've kind of trimmed everything up. So the goal is to have that all across here. So when you're in the cabin, the way I designed them is everything's kind of taking advantage of the view looking out this way. These units, they're all gonna be the same. They're 450 square foot, they're 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and they've got a loft up top. So we're gonna say they sleep 3-4 people, but it'll be comfortable for a couple, maybe a couple bringing in a few kids with them. But that's kind of the size of them and the design we're looking for. So again, this is where the top 3 is at. You can kind of span back over here. You can see this is gonna be kind of the backyard of the property. And so we're gonna have like fire pits, we're gonna have horseshoes, different games people can come out here and play. And it'll kind of be, in a sense, a community if everyone wants to come out and like smoke some meat, get the grill going, get the fire pit going, or if they want to stay to themselves, they can stay inside the house and have their own little personal porch out at the front. So we want to kind of fit everyone's needs. So this is kind of where the elevation drops, and it just makes sense to kind of separate these 3 from the next 3. So we'll do 1 unit here and it steps down again, and we'll do 2 more units there. And again, you can tell we still got some clearing out we need to do so we can take advantage of the views here. So that's kind of what we've been doing here for the last 3 weeks. The big things, get everything cleared out, getting the pads ready, getting the water ran up here. We're doing septic systems, so that's pretty straightforward. The next big thing will just be getting electric up here. So this is kind of the first stage, what we're calling the first episode of our 40 acres with our tiny home community, and hopefully you'll see some stuff going on at our place. We're gonna be starting here before too long. So if you guys like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. Where are my sunflower seeds? Thank you, boss.